Welcome to Tabletop Galaxy, an actual play podcast using the Star Wars role-playing game by Fantasy Flight Games. You're listening to Broken Space, a campaign utilizing the Edge of the Empire sourcebooks and featuring two groups that affect the shared storyline. This is episode 2 of The Second Sunrise and Her Crew. The crew of The Second Sunrise, a small crew of enterprising individuals on the run in the Outer Rim from their past, has found a job from a chance encounter with a Zabrak named Shay. In spite of a bit of a little spill of Corellian ale by Vosk, the group quickly dispatched of some thugs chasing down their new acquaintance. Though even in the Outer Rims, it's hard to escape one's past, as Ellie quickly discovered, when Uthigaro, a Black Sun bounty hunter, came searching for her. Some slick work by her and Zarko, followed up by Kane's efficient use of his blaster, got the group out of a tight spot. They jumped aboard the Second Sunrise with Shay, going into orbit to plan for their next job in the safety of space. So here you are, aboard the Second Sunrise, sitting with Shay. She looks around at the crew as you guys are just kind of floating out there in space. So, are you going to help me? Are you going to take the job? As she looks at you.
I think that's what we decided, but I believe that we need at least a little bit of time to recuperate and Voss got hurt pretty badly, so we need to tend to him and plan a little bit, I think.
Yeah. She says, well, I don't have much, but I do have a stim pack. Would that help you, Vosk?
I'm going to assume that I've come back from the cockpit at this point and that we can all lounge in the massive kitchen that this ship has, because clearly that was the most important aspect when selecting a ship. Mm-hmm. And Vosk is going to say, I wasn't really too keen on the idea of using one of my own. If you've got a spare one around, I'll definitely take it. But I wanted all the resources on hand that we could have for whatever job you were gonna send our way.
Yeah, I mean it's the least I can do after you.
I mean, it kind of was your fault that I got shot. The people who shot me were specifically here for you. So
I'm aware. That's why I'm offering it to you. And so she hands that over. And so while you do the healing from the stim pack, we're going to go back in time because I forgot to do a couple things. And first, we are going to roll for our destiny pool.
I didn't want to interrupt your story with how about all of those things? I was going to let you finish the intro crawl, but we need obligation, destiny pool, and
spaceship quirks.
What people spent experience on
already.
If they spent any experience. What did you buy?
Yeah, so let's do the rolls, and then we can go through if anyone spent their experience.
Okay.
So why doesn't everybody give me their destiny roll?
We're going to do intros. We haven't introduced ourselves.
Oh my God. This is going to be a nightmare to edit, y'all.
You're welcome.
I just got rolling. It's our goal to make it as difficult as possible.
The podcasters can't read the boxes around the stream.
Kane got 2 black dark side points.
I think Voska's going to carry the team again.
Oof. Yep, looking like it.
We'll see. Where
it's at the top of your page.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's on the characters. No, wait. Dice pool page. What?
It's on the main one.
Oh, roll destiny. I found it. Ha!
Yep, Voska's carrying the team
again, and this time it's one worse than last time.
All right, so we have Kane with 2 dark side points, Ellie with 1 dark side, Zarko with 1 dark side, and once again, Vosk, the only person to have light side, has 2 light side points.
Perfect. So let's go through and introduce your characters, talk about if you spent anything, and we'll jump back in with Vosk having healed himself a little bit.
Let's wait on Ellie to finish dying.
And
I had a very well-timed coughing fit. Hi. I'm Niffer. I'm playing Ellie. She is a Twi'lek politico colonist. I have not spent any experience points yet because I'm saving it for the super good stuff. So, yeah. And I rolled for the ship quirk, and the ship quirk is all the lights flicker off for 23 seconds.
Awesome.
Cool.
So yeah.
Kane.
Kane McAllister. I'm a human hired gun mercenary soldier. I also did not spend any of my experience because I'm saving it to up some ranks, make my blasting even better.
Very optimistic that you guys are going to survive. Vosk.
I am One Great Wonder, and I am playing Vosk. He is a Duros technician mechanic. I did actually spend my experience points. I spent 10 points on acquiring solid repairs. Whenever I make ship repairs, I do an additional +1 hull trauma per rank of this skill to the starship or vehicle. It was a tough call between that and a second rank of computers, especially considering the job at hand, but we'll see.
Well, you got mad skills even without, so we have faith in you.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I am Gregory. I am playing Zarko Cruz, human explorer scout, and I have elected to hold on to my experience points for the moment as well. I haven't decided if I want to go into the trees or skills yet, so I'm still waiting.
I'm the only person getting light side points. I'm the only person spending my resources to become a better individual.
And you're the only person who's been shot.
Yeah, that's true. I might need 20 for some of the stuff I want, so I can't get them if I want to. That was why I waited.
Well, Seal, you want to roll for the obligation? Because I didn't take the time to figure out the macro. Because
Okay.
Technology
drum
scares
roll.
me.
Who's it gonna be?
Oh gosh.
oh
no!
Okay, I called this again.
It does select other people. The thing just really likes Ellie.
Nobody. That was
so,
what we wanted.
Great.
The obligations of Ellie weigh upon the group. Her strain threshold is reduced by 2, and everyone else is reduced by 1.
Great.
That is amazing.
No, it's not.
Including the test rolls, Ellie has been half of them. But I went in and I verified that the weight on everyone is set. So,
Which I will also
So-
say for everybody who's interested, because of how, if you watched our first episode, you saw that Ellie met someone from her past named Ulthigara, who I already mentioned, was a bounty hunter, because Ellie has a nice bounty on her head for stealing her daddy's ship, which the group also discovered that, and already actually knew, her daddy is a bigwig in the Black Suns organization that Ellie didn't want to be a part of, and so she stole his ship and fled, and daddy didn't like that. And so he put a 20,000 credit bounty for Ellie, dead or alive, and the ship in good repair. So we can also see where those loving priorities are. So
It's where they've always been.
It almost sounded like he wanted the ship more than he wanted her, which was upsetting.
I mean, I want the ship more than I want her. So, it's a nice ship. It's got
it's an antique.
character.
But I'm a nice person, I hope.
Verdict's still out on that, especially considering the conversation with Ulti.
So for the sake of recording and the podcast side of things, do you want me to give that intro again? Would that
No,
help
it's
you?
fine. It's fine.
Okay. So yeah, Shay has given you, I'm moving away from the mic. Sorry, trying not to. Shay has given you a stim pack. You're sitting around. She's offered you 800 additional credits to the 400 that she gave you to deliver a small message, essentially, of a picture, a small like charcoal drawing, to the male picture in the male individual in the picture, and as you look at that picture, you notice that the female is her.
Yeah, it's her and a human, you said?
A human, yeah. She has informed you that he is most likely in the Imperial compound in Vikaea. And to give you a little bit of context for that, since you all have spent some time on Socorro, You would know that the Imperial compound is a little bit of ways from where most of the activity happens in Vikaea. They have a pretty good understanding that they're not super popular, but having a presence for some of the things they need done is necessary. So they're kind of on the outskirts of the city. They have their own dock and hangars, and it's a little bit isolated away from everything. So she wanted you to do that, and she said she wants you to basically break into their mainframe computer and see if there's any information that you can pull from them.
Gonna regret not taking that extra rank of computers.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So here you sit in the kitchen of the second sunrise. The lights flicker off for about 23 seconds and pop back on. She looks around and is everything okay?
It
Perfectly normal.
happens.
I don't even notice it at this point. So
Huh.
It's a very old ship, and that comes with a lot of personality.
I see.
We do our
Well,
best.
fun fact, Miss Shea, that was actually the first time I've ever been shot. So I appreciate you bringing that particular experience upon me. I'm not blaming you. I think it's interesting. I've managed to keep a pretty low profile, even working in and around some of the hut gangsters, and I definitely was not expecting to get shot just because I tripped. So new experiences all around.
Well, I have to say you're handling it quite well. The first time I got shot, I was not so cool under pressure as you were. It's
Yeah,
mostly screaming.
There's kind of a mess back in the med bay that I'll probably need to be picking up later. I try to keep myself a little composed, but
I'd be happy to help clean up. I really am. If I had more credits to give, I would. I don't have much.
I appreciate the offer, but it'll actually probably be pretty good calming to be left alone with my thoughts and go back to organizing. I'm a very, all my tools, everything in the med bay and stuff, I like it organized. So it'll probably kind of help me wind down.
Well, very well. But if there's anything else I can help with, I would really consider it an honor and even a debt to be paid.
I will let you know if I think of something.
Very well, she says. So what are you gonna do? How do you think you're gonna get into this compound?
Well,
go ahead.
We've been hanging out too much. Well, I think more information would be good, like perhaps the layout of the place and maybe a little bit more information on where we'll be able to find this information.
I don't have specific layouts. Unfortunately, I am not super welcome in Imperial places. They're not my biggest fan.
I understand that.
She kind of smiles and nods. I
think one of the big things that we might look at is excuses for being there, right? So if we can pretend to be part of a maintenance team or locals who would have a reason to enter the facility, it's much easier to get in and wait until you have a moment and then do the stuff that you need to do instead of necessarily trying to blast yourself in from the get-go.
Yeah, I would actually probably strongly recommend not going with the blasting in method.
Sorry,
although
Kane.
she looks at Kane. Although I was very impressed at your acumen with a rifle. That was very, very impressive.
Thanks. I've had a lot of practice.
I know there's a couple spots around the city or around the compound that you could probably go kind of snooping around, fairly unsuspecting. They do bring in mechanics from Vikaea, particularly the mechanics that are unaligned, if you will, not committed to any of the other cartels.
Do you know any particular businesses that do deliveries or contractor work and stuff like that? Have you done any recon on this place at all, or should we start that once we get back planet side?
I have done my best to kind of stay away from that. I had a little bit different job, and this is a little side thing. And what I was working on has led me to be curious about what the Imperials know, as well as this contact is pretty important to me. But yeah, I unfortunately don't know too much about who is allowed in and who's allowed out. Imperials are not my friends, to say the least. If you thought the Hutts coming after me would be trouble, I really don't want my face shown around there.
Well, there's pros and cons to that. Usually the Imperials at least have a, vague though it may be, set of rules that they kind of abide by. They may be very bad rules, but Hutts are much more keen to come at you sideways. So
Yeah,
I feel like this is an easier job than trying to sneak into a Hutt palace or a gang hideout. So we at least got that going for us.
I suppose. She pulls that necklace, Voss, that you had seen that's been kind of hidden under her tunic. She pulls it out and she just sets it on the ground, and you see the phoenix, the rebel insignia. She says, "They don't really follow the rules for people like me."
Yeah, I can imagine that. But
For you,
I guess what I mean is anytime you have government or military oversight, there's going to be something. There's going to be a contractor that they always go to because they had to get funding approved. There's going to be something. Yeah, there'll be side deals and stuff on the back end, but there's normally a process, and I think that we can kind of exploit that process.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. I would just be wary, as you are on a planet of back end deals.
Hey, Space Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
What would I know of the Imperials, like with experience from the Black Sun? Like, do the Black Sun and the Imperials get along? Are they like?
They're yes and a huge no at the same time.
Okay.
So particularly on the surface and by the books, Imperials do not get along well with any of the cartels.
Mm-hmm.
There has been known to be the occasional, what's the right way to say it? Highly motivated officer
Okay.
who's willing to bend rules and stuff for their own personal benefit. So that's kind of what you would know about any operations that you've done have to be, or that the Black Sun has done that you, in your experience, would know,
Mm-hmm.
would have to be highly beneficial to the Black Sun to engage, and
Okay.
also would usually be not necessarily in the form of payment, but in the form of like
Obligation.
and turning a blind eye to activities, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yes. I was just wondering if there's a like, oh, conveniently, I could pretend I'm still Black Sun and go in there, but
Hey, Vosk, are you still in the cockpit? Were you talking through the comm system, or did you?
No, I physically came back,
Okay.
was given a stim pack, and
Okay.
kind of stepped off to the side, maybe back out into the ship hallway to like apply medicinal care.
Because seeing the rebel insignia, I think Kane's gonna kind of like duck his head, like pull his collar up a little bit, and he'll probably head off just to get out of the room for now.
I have had an idea for Vosk, I guess. Has anyone ever watched Eureka?
yeah.
Okay, in Eureka, Henry the mechanic, he's always got his coveralls on, and the running joke through the whole show is that he changes his like job title badge based on what he's doing, so it changes from like mechanic to doctor to computer scientist to whatever. And I feel like already Vosk is set up to be that person, being the intellect character in the group, because I got the mechanicking skills. I was technically the best at the medical care. I'm going to be apparently our computer slicer. So I said it in chat, but I realized that I said overalls instead of coveralls in episode 1. He's definitely in mechanic coveralls, and I am now making it canon that Vosk has a Velcro patch that he swaps based on what job he's performing. So he'll rip the Velcro of mechanic off and slap, medic on there, and then give himself a shot of the stim pack. And when Kane kind of excuses himself, Vosk will step fully into the common area that we're in.
Next time that he gets shot, he's just going to rip off the Velcro and slap sitting duck right on there.
Feel free to come up with your own Vosk tags.
Cool.
So we have a computer program, I'm told, that will allow us to mask the identity of our ship. We should consider what we want to set that to so that I can go about installing it as we land again. I was thinking Halcyon Days for some reason. Like,
yes,
just a thought.
I like it, but it's a little too meta.
Okay. So there's homework for the group. Think about what we're going to call the ship when we go back to dock, and we're going to shoot for a different dock. We don't want to land back in V627 so that Uthi can just come find us again. Distinguishable ship though we may be, we're going to try to land under the guise of something else. Like we're just arriving with some fresh cargo and we're a new ship. What do you need from me to install that? Or is it something that I transmit? What do you need, Space Dungeon Master?
She pulls out a data pad and says, when you're ready to dock, if you kind of plug this into your system, it'll change your signature that's presented to the docking authorities, and I can give your ship whatever name that you want.
Sweet.
It's kind of a one-time use thing. It's for extreme circumstances, which I feel like.
Yeah, from the sound of it, we'll go ahead and spend the night up here in orbit and let everyone rest up. In the morning, as it may be, the morning for Vakeia, we'll head down, we'll dock, we'll get a new parking spot, a new name, a new outlook on life, and we'll start poking around town to figure out what we can figure out. So,
yeah.
Unless anyone else has anything for him, Vosk is going to excuse himself and go clean up the medical bay. And then I'm going to take the night rest to get my final one wound healed and make myself go back to full.
Yeah. And she looks at you all and says, like, that seems good. I've had a stressful couple days. Is there a place I could lay down?
Do we actually have guest quarters?
We technically have. We were talking about it today in Discord. We technically said 4 bedrooms, so that we all had individual rooms instead of like a shared crew area. I haven't drawn an official deck plan for our ship yet, but I can have like some bunk beds, passenger area if we want.
Even the med bay would work. Like even the medical bay is going to have a bed, like some kind of bed in there. It's not great, but it would
just
work.
A bed and a blanket would be, and a pillow.
You can have my room. I'll take our spare room.
Oh, well, thank you.
There is a puppy in there. I hope that doesn't bother you.
A puppy?
Yes, come on, come meet him.
Ellie, why don't you describe?
You're really going to let the puppy sleep with somebody else, Ellie?
Why don't you describe the space puppy?
Oh no, I haven't thought about the space puppy at all. It is. I can't decide if it's like actually a regular puppy or if it's like a weird alien type of puppy.
I mean, it's got to be a weird alien puppy, right?
I think it's a weird alien puppy. I think it's.
I'm picturing Vaporeon, kind of. Like a little bit.
I'm picturing like 6 legs, but yes, definitely Vaporeon, but then 6 legs.
I was picturing 6 legs as well, so let's go with that.
Boy,
Deal.
I was in a completely other direction. I was just thinking like golden retriever with like a space suit on. Just like a regular.
A puppy that went to space.
Yeah.
Astronaut dog.
I will also say, Zarko, that above your kind of doorway to your room, you notice that in marker above it, it says the doctor is, and then there's an in/out that, and in is currently circled.
I have
Awesome.
no idea who could have done that. I'm going to go undo the stitches that Zarko put into me. While I'm back there cleaning, I'm going to take out the Zarko stitches and attempt to set myself correctly there.
All right.
Hey, I did an okay job. It was just,
So you all get
it wasn't so gentle.
you all get a good space night's rest. Whatever that means, since you're not in orbit, so that's weird. Or since you are in orbit.
Well, we just stay above Vakeia, and roughly.
You got cruise control on.
Yeah, we let night pass, and when the sun rises in Vakeia, we'll go down to Vakeia.
Exactly.
Is that called synchronous orbit?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, geosynchronous.
Also, the chat said three-eyed puppy.
Ooh.
Any hearts against that?
Ooh. No, I'm definitely liking 6 legs. 6 legs, 3 eyes. Here for it.
Yeah. But also,
one ear.
I also like the frill though from Vaporeon.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Do you think this puppy has fur, or is it like scaly?
Oh, it's fur. It's
Okay.
definitely fur.
She snuggles it
puppy
way too
color?
much for it to be
Both.
skin.
No, it's not regular puppy color. It's blue.
Okay.
It's definitely blue.
Perfect. Canon. That happened. Yeah, so you all wake up in the morning. Shay kind of walks out of your room, Ellie, and you all gather where, we'll say in the kitchen, because that seems like the most logical place to gather, because everyone needs breakfast. And she looks at Voss and says, You seem to be the pilot, correct?
It depends on the day, but I spend more time than most crawling around this thing, so I've got a better handle on her than probably her original owner did, I'd like to think.
Good. Well, when you're ready, I can come up to the cockpit and get your ship signature set for you to go down.
Bosk is not clicking refresh over and over again on starship name generators right now.
I'm thinking the Saber. How about that? The Saber? What do you think? That would work. We could call it
Just the Saber?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just the Saber. Or, well, I mean,
That seems generic. Generic is good, right? That's what you're going
Generic
for.
is very good.
The
the
third
I'm gonna make
sunrise?
another Elias basic joke there, but I'll refrain. Okay, just the Saber.
or the Blade, or just like Blue Star. So anything like that works for me, I think.
I think you're overthinking it, Zarko. Let's just go with the Saber.
All right.
And call it a day that is bland enough that no one should think a second time. So yeah, Shay, let's do it to it, and
All right,
Boss
so
will head up to the cockpit.
Yeah, she follows you up to the cockpit. You see her kind of plug in this data pad to the console, and she beep boop bops a couple buttons. And she says, "Okay, I think it's set. Let's see if this works."
I will fly the ship down to Vakeia.
And under
To
her
the
breath, she says,
starport.
"I really hope this works."
Okay.
So as you come down, you hear over the comlink, "Identify yourself. Send your signature, please."
Yeah, this is the Saber. We've just come from, well, gosh, Gregory doesn't know, but I'm sure Zarko would know a nearby planet that's relatively populated.
Arcanus.
Tatooine's super close.
Sure. Okay. We're en route from Tatooine, looking to spend a few days here in this fine port of yours.
I'll click the buttons to transmit.
All right. It goes through. He says, "All right, looks good. Docking bay D912.
D912. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful afternoon.
It's an older code, but it checks out, sir.
Yeah. So you guys. I just looked at the chat because I'm a dummy and now I'm distracted. Minimizing that. And yeah, so you pull in and land, and you are in Vikaea. The general kind of protocols is just as long as your docking signature checks out. They have a lot of people. They don't ask a lot of questions. You're in a sketchy city, so what are you going to do?
Especially illegal spaceship modification city. Probably not going to like spend too long looking at the clipboard and looking at the side of the ship. And
Exactly.
Vosk's first thing is going to find some sort of mechanicking shop. I'm sure that having worked in one, I at least know the competition in town. So I would want to do some kind of research to find out if there's anyone who, not like ship mechanic, but more like civil engineering, HVAC, you know, that who's working lights, air conditioning, that kind of stuff at this place.
Okay. There's a couple places that you're familiar with. You've got Solari's Scrapyard and Drifter's Garage are two places you spent some time. You do know Drifters is more of a gosh, I can't think of the word. They're not committed to any specific cartel. Solari's you're more familiar with, having actually spent some time working in there, is connected with the Huts. Okay.
Follow-up question. Does this Imperial compound have any sort of vehicle fleet? Like, do they have, you know, government cars that would require any maintenance, or is it mostly just personnel? Would I know that working in Vikaea?
I would say, why don't you roll? Nah, we don't need to roll. That's a waste of a roll. You would know, spending your background in Vikaea, being a mechanic, you would know that the reason the Imperials have a compound there is to modify ships.
Okay.
So you do know that they and that they contract out, because there's work that there's nobody in the Imperial fleet that really specializes in the same way that there are individuals in Vikaea who
they are here for mechanics like me, not
and
using their own people.
They tend to go to the neutral mechanics if possible.
Okay. You said Solari's was the hut. What was the other one?
Drifter's Garage.
Okay. Well, then Vosk is going to tell the group, I know of a place, Drifter's Garage, that might have a couple of folks that they contract out to work on the ships they bring in. So that would be my first place to head. Anyone particularly want to come with me?
Yeah, sure. Let's go check it out.
Okay.
Shay, what's your plan? Are you staying here with the ship? Are you going to go do your own thing?
She says, I think I will probably stay aboard the ship for now, if that's permissible by you. I know it's your ship. I don't want to impose.
I'm going to take the metaphorical ship keys with me so that it can't go nowhere while we're gone.
Is there a way to take like a comm link or something, though, so that we can contact her, or she can contact us if something's up with the ship?
Yeah, I'm okay with saying that you guys owning a ship, you would own comm links.
I have a comm link. Yeah, you didn't buy one? Okay.
How's it feel under the bus there, Ellie?
I definitely have the ship's channel plugged into my comm link. So
likewise.
That's a thing that I can do even if Ellie can't.
And we would have each other's at this point, I would imagine.
And I will say, I know there's a pretty limited range on the individual comm links, but I'm going to say, for the sake of like, you have a ship that could probably broadcast out a little further.
As somebody who deals constantly with military land mobile radios, it doesn't necessarily matter if my brick has enough juice, if the ship has a good enough antenna.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
There you go.
See, the real world science.
They probably got a trunking system in there, all kinds of fancy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little old, so it might be a little staticky, but Fosca's done some work to it.
Personality.
It just transmits in a different language. It's not a super big deal.
You don't speak Gungan? Oh.
Gungans
All
don't
right,
exist in
so
the galaxy.
I'm taking it seems like the whole group, and we are leaving Shay to watch and walk the space puppy. We are Viper alarm whooping the ship, and we are headed off to the garage.
Yeah. So you get to Drifter's garage, and I think I've described this, but if I haven't, I'm going to again. Everything in Vikaea is kind of sectioned off based on who the that region is loyal to specifically. So there's a hut section of Vikaea. There's a Black Sun section of Vikaea. There's a Pike section of Vikaea. The docking bay and the hangars even are split up. So you were put in one of the neutral, given your signature, one of the neutral hangars. And so you're walking through this kind of neutral zone. It's almost like a doesn't matter. It's a neutral zone. And you get to Drifter's garage. And as you get there is a oh my gosh, I forgot what they're called. The Aquarian. Sitting behind a desk, kind of looking at some pieces. And as you walk in, he says, "Oh, hey, Vosk. What brings you into my shop today?"
I'm assuming he's actually named Drifter.
He's Drifter.
Okay. Not much, Drifter. Work has kind of dried up a little bit lately, and I'm looking for more employment opportunities. And I was curious, what kind of jobs you got on the dockets these days?
Ooh, there's not much to come by. The whole Death Star rolling up really set back our business. The Imperials have really put a lockdown on a lot of stuff, but got a couple more parts jobs for the Pikes. The Imperials have they've put in an interesting order, if you will. We actually have
Interesting good or interesting bad?
I would just say interesting.
Money's money, right?
Exactly, and got to pay the bills. Got to be able to go down to Fear Talks and play a little sabacc, you know.
Yeah.
But
So
I sent blah 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 someone whose name that the DM wrote down somewhere. Found it. I sent Jirian down there
to the Imperial compound.
Yeah, he's installing something. I probably shouldn't say more now that I think about it.
Oh, well, like I said, I'm just kind of looking for work. If you bring me in the loop on something, I imagine it would be a need-to-know basis. So if I need to know, then you can tell me. But in the meantime...
Why don't you roll a persuasion? Is that a... No. That's not the right word. Negotiate.
Charm.
Why don't you roll negotiate?
Charm.
Negotiation.
While he's talking to him, is there like if I just kind of wander around the shop, sort of looking at things, is there like a back door or like some bead curtain hanging? I might be able to peek behind or through.
I'm gonna
know when the dice pool's ready.
The dice pool is ready, and it's just the average difficulty. Kind of a you're feeling like this is a pretty normal business conversation for you. This is how these conversations go.
Yeah, but I suck at negotiation. So here we go.
Gee, if only you had a face right next to you with like 4 green dice.
And
okay.
No rapport with this particular establishment.
4 advantage though. So
4
no
advantages.
successes.
No success, but 4 advantages.
And then Kane, why don't you just give me a general perception check? Are you trying to be discreet about this or no?
Yeah, pretty casual. Just kind of like looking at things and walking around as he's talking.
Okay. Then dice pool set.
Ugh.
Okay.
One success, one threat.
So for Vosk, let's do that first. How do you want to use those 4 advantages?
Well, again, I'm kind of setting the mood that I am not demanding information from him right now. I'm not trying to press my luck. So I'm kind of just setting that groundwork of I'm looking for work. I'm being friendly, and I'm clearly not pressing you too much, so it shouldn't be weird that I'm asking these questions. It makes sense that the Empire is cracking down. This guy is here for work, so I may not have succeeded, but I want him to think of me first if he needs to hire somebody on or something like that.
Okay, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think he'll look at you and say, "Well, how about I give Darian a call, see if he needs any extra hand with what he's working on." I shouldn't say more, but
Like I said, I'm not here to ask questions. If it's not a job I'm working on, then I don't want to burden myself or you with any further details. But if you need a hand, I can jump in, and I've got plenty of muscle. If he needs help moving equipment or anything else, I can outsource to some folks that I've been passing the time with down at Beer Talks.
well, a little extra muscle never hurt anybody. I appreciate that. And then he looks over as Kane, you're kind of walking around. You do see there's sort of a back door, has a small little "Do not enter" sign. As you start walking towards that, I will say he notices you with that threat. That's what I'll use that threat for. He says, "Hey,
Boss made the mistake of pointing, like, I got muscle, and he like thumbs over his shoulder, and he looks past me and sees Kane back there.
now I hope you can read, but that sign says don't go back there. I hope you notice that, good sir."
Yeah, of course. I wasn't headed over there. It's just taking a look at your fine shop here.
I'm sure you were. Well, looks back at Vosk. I will let you know if we can use your help.
I appreciate it.
You know, profit margins and all. I want as few people in as this as possible. So,
Like I said, you set the parameters, and I'll help out how I can. I'm just trying to keep food on the table and fuel in the ship.
oh, same here.
And
well,
then,
anything else I can help you with?
Nope. We're gonna kind of peruse around town a little bit. It's bright and early, so probably best not to get too deep in the cups down at Fear Talks. So we're gonna peruse around town a little bit, and then once it heats up, take a break from the sun and go relax a bit.
Well, maybe I'll see you tonight at Fear Talks. Play a game of Sabak, maybe some chance cubes. Let me know.
We'll keep an eye out for you.
Sounds good. All right, where are y'all going?
Great question. Where else might we know to go in this town that we've been in for at least a couple of weeks, and Vosk has been in for at least a couple of years?
Why don't you
So
One
how
of
much
you-
do we trust Furtok? I mean, she's been around for a bit. Maybe she knows a good way for us to get inside the base.
If she doesn't know, she might know somebody who does know.
That's my point.
Fair.
But I
Valid
mean,
point.
is this something we could trust her with? Ellie, you're pretty good at, getting information from people, but maybe she might be able to help. What do you think?
That's a fair point.
Are you new around here? Of course you can trust Fur Talk.
All right.
That was, sort of, I guess, I'm role playing. I want to ask. It's more of a above table question, like how well do we know Furtok? How have we done a job for her before, or is it much more casual? Or
You
Why
said
don't-
it in the
I'm
Zarko
happy
voice.
for
Now you
one
have
of
to
you-
deal with Kane's like prodding at you, like, "Duh, dude,
right?
get with it."
It's fine.
She definitely seemed really comfortable with me when I went to like talk to her about the bodies and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
would. I would say if in Vikea and on Socorro, you don't really necessarily have friends,
Right.
but you got people who like you, and from your interactions in the kind of right before that shootout, you got the sense that like Furtok's got your back.
Let me make a knowledge outer rim check to see if I know anybody else.
I'm fine with that, or I'm fine with somebody making it. I was actually going to say this before that happened. We can have someone make a knowledge outer rim check, or we can have someone make a streetwise check.
I could do either.
I have 3 in outer or in streetwise.
Would you say
Similar.
the dice pool is set?
I would say
What's your outer rim knowledge? I could do that too.
All my
I got
knowledges are
2
4.
green.
So can I assist you? Because I got 2 skill and 1 green, 2 yellow, 1 green,
Oh, then yes.
or vice versa.
Uh,
Hey Voss, don't we know? What about that?
I'm going to say that based on Vosk and Zarko having worked before, both off-planet and then a touch here on Socorro back when he was interning for that corporation that we still haven't picked a name for, that we probably had to deal with the same kind of folks, independent contractors and such. Obviously, the corporation would probably want to outsource planet side instead of having to pay a specialist to come all the way out here to be on scene. So that's what I'm going to base my outer rim knowledge check on with a Zarko assist.
seems reasonable to me.
Do you have
And
the
the dice pool
difficulty
is
set?
set.
Okay, I'm going to do this. It is my 4 green augmented by your 2 yellow, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, clicking a button. I have 3 successes and a threat.
Oh.
So I will say that I'm going to say you trust Furtok.
Okay.
You don't trust Furtok's bar.
Hmm.
And that's the not trust for Furtok's bar is the threat.
Okay. Like, in the sense that I would be afraid of someone overhearing.
You've just heard rumors that there's always ears there.
Okay.
That's like the bar in town, right? That's pretty much where everyone.
it's usually the safest spot. Furtok's got a good operation, best drinks, best food.
Vosk is going to kind of pat through his suit and he's going to pull out a notepad and he's going to write on it as we're walking. Looking for work in the Imperial compound. Know anybody? ? And then he's going to flip that back up and put it in a pocket. And it's just going to be, like a pencil handwritten note that I have ready to go just in case I want to ask without having to say that out loud.
Okay. So you all
And
get
then-
to Furtok's bar. She looks into you and it says,
Sorry about that. I had to clear my throat.
"There better not be any trouble again."
It's too early in the morning
It's-
for that.
We don't even have her with us this time, Fair Talk.
And
They were only in here for her, and we didn't bring her.
we promised to bring you business again. And I walk up and put a credit or whatever, a couple credits down for some drinks.
She takes it and she looks at you, Ellie. She says,
Pretty much.
there was an interesting fellow who came in, a Rhodian, a few days ago, kind of cursing about you."
I believe I know who you're talking about. I told him to come look for work.
He didn't he spent money here, which I appreciate, but he saying stuff about raising a bounty, putting his own bounty on you. So
Do you really think someone like him would be able to afford it?
yeah. He
All
was
right.
he was spending a lot of money over there on the sabacc tables.
How's his skill? How'd he do?
And
I think it's
Let's
less
say he-
about skill and more about luck in that game.
let's say he left
Only if you're playing honestly. I'm
He left
asking if he's
Everyone's
cheating.
playing honestly when
he
it
left
comes to
happier than he
sabacc.
came in.
All right.
So just I like you. I know you've got some family issues, but maybe just watch your back.
Thank you for the heads up.
And I do expect you to buy something. I had to clean up a lot of blood, and you know how much I hate doing that.
That's true. We're
Especially
sorry.
when I don't even get to rip someone's arms off.
I mean, does it help if I tell you you can rip the bounty hunter's arms off anytime he comes back?
Ellie, dear, that's a terrible idea for me.
I know. I'm just
Bad for business
trying.
too, I think.
If rumor gets around that I just pull off bounty hunter's arms, nobody's going to come back to Fear Talks.
Well, if the opportunity arises for you to not be in here and to rip some arms off, if you really want that to happen, come see us. If you need to get some stress off.
I think I'll leave you to that. I just wanted to let you know that there was potentially trouble brewing. Anyways, let me get you some ales, get you some breakfast. You are paying full price for it.
Yes, Fear
That's
Talk.
not a choice.
Of course we are.
Voss thinks in his head Trouble Brewing would have been a really cool name for the ship.
Save it for next time.
And she goes and starts getting drinks and stuff ready
I'm
for you.
going to claim us a booth, but I'm going to pick a different booth than the one that we were in
Yeah.
last night.
Okay.
I'm gonna, after the boys go to like sit down, I'm just gonna kind of lean over and be like, maybe like still charge us for the full ales, but maybe water them down a little bit. It's morning and I do need them thinking clearly, so just maybe a little bit. Thank you. And I
I
just
mean-
like slide the money for the food over across the bar.
What
It's
a
it's,
jerk.
it's not expensive. It's like 5 credits.
Deal.
And she says to you, she says, I'll just bring him water. You're still paying for the water. You're a good one, Ellie. I like you. And she gets it ready, brings it over to your table. Says, what you lot usually aren't in here this early. What brings you in?
We're looking for work.
But we're being very casual about it considering how exciting yesterday was. So
It's true.
starting off slow, nice and calm,
Well,
lots less shooting.
We're also on an information gathering sort of mission.
Information. What sort of information?
I sort of look over to Vosk. Did I see him write that on his notepad?
I imagine we were kind of walking down the street, and especially since Zarko and Vosk were like collaborating and trying to think of old contacts and stuff they might have had in town, you probably definitely would have seen it. Yeah.
We're looking for how should I put this delicately?
Something like this.
transportation
And I'll pull out the notepad as he's still saying other words like
Right,
transportation.
yeah,
I'll go ahead and pull out the notepad and kind of slide it across where she can see it or hold it so that she can see it. But yeah.
She looks at it and she says, I've heard a couple spots that are a little busier than normal.
I'm going to fold it and put it back in my pocket unless she makes any effort to like jot her own note. If she doesn't reach for the thing, I'm going to put it
She
away.
just walks away
Okay.
for the time being. And you see her not really focusing on the drinks for a minute. She actually goes and writes something down. And she brings you back another note.
The old napkin under the cup with the note on it trick.
Yeah.
It says, "Do you like me?
Classic.
Check yes or no."
And you obviously check yes.
Oscar's going
on
to
it-
change his tape from doctor to free agent.
And on the note back, it says, it basically communicates the idea that the Imperials and the Hutts have been asking a lot of questions about something called a Navicrypt. And with that, we're going to take a 15-minute break as my child is screaming and I can hear her through the walls.
All right.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Poor thing. See
All
you in a
right.
minute.
Go
Back
get
in
her.
15.
Oh, welcome back to Broken Space Second Sunrise. When we left, the group was trying to get some information about how best to get in to the Imperial compound. They went to their friend Feartalk, who informed them that the Hutts and the Imperials have been looking for something called a Navicryptor, which doesn't really ring any bells with anyone. So you are all sitting in your bar in Feartalk's, and this was all done via notes for discretion's purpose or sake, for the sake of discretion. There we go.
The walls
So,
have ears.
what are we going to do?
Are there any obvious Imperials in the bar currently?
Why don't you roll me a perception?
Do Imperials come to her bar? I imagine so, if she's
I would
the
say
bar.
occasionally, yeah. She's in the neutral part of town. Where is roll 20? And Kane, you're the one rolling?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a boost die because of your just general knowledge of what Imperials would look like. So you would probably be able, given your character's history as a part of the Empire, you'd be able to pick out kind of generic disguises and stuff like that as well. So I give you a boost die for that.
Now is
Sweet.
when Vosk rips off the name tag and just tapes on Imperial, and we walk right in. Plan.
It's a glamour shot of Emperor Palpatine. All right, success and advantage.
How much do we know about Kane's time with the military?
Probably almost nothing. That's a thing he keeps pretty close to his vest. Doesn't like to admit it. You know that he's seen.
So we can tell he's military, but we don't necessarily know he was in the actual Imperial military.
Yeah.
I like that. That's why I don't trust you.
With a success and an advantage, do you want to see a Imperial in the bar?
If there is one, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to do some eavesdropping if I see.
Yeah, I would say
some-
at a booth, kind of 2 booths down, as you've been kind of scanning the bar, kind of your ever vigilant personality, you notice 2 individuals that aren't in necessarily traditional Imperial uniform, but you catch you catch just like a little hand signal that you remember from your time, and it's nothing necessarily big, but it is communicating some sort of like almost like, yeah, we're cool, like the 2 of us talking is cool.
I'm gonna attempt to make eye contact as best I can with some of the group while talking, and point, 2 fingers and point in that direction.
Okay. I'd say you can communicate that fairly discreetly. For the podcast, he did the symbol on his cheek and pointed. Like,
call.
hey, look over there.
Followed by all of us being as obvious as we can.
Right. So, so Kane's trying to establish that. I guess we're just probably making small talk and sipping at our ales.
Yeah,
It's
and
water.
you notice him. You all notice him kind of indicate discreetly the table.
I wonder, Vosk, if there's some way we could come up with some kind of a, like a map, like layout for the schematics with the, I mean, there's got to be somebody that services that place, right? I mean, yeah, sure, it's an Imperial compound, but they got to have outside workers that go in there on occasion or something.
This guy's just saying all the things out loud that I've been so cautious
Yep. I'm
keep
internally face palming. Don't worry.
I don't know, Zarko.
Assume I said that in code. That was not
really?
like.
Oh, we've got codes established now, do we?
Well, look, when I
Boss
tried
is-
to say it's hot out, the gal didn't understand what like hot being like you're having some heat, somebody's following you. I try to be subtle. It didn't work. So this time I'm trying to go the other direction of like I'm gonna be a little bit more blunt, but that's not my intention. We're being.
I'll give you the benefit that you didn't say we're breaking in there. You just said there's got to be some kind of a map.
Yeah, just having exactly.
Does Vosk know anywhere in town where there might be like public access terminals? I know Star Wars doesn't have an internet.
Yeah, let's just go down to City Hall, check the blueprints.
There's not
public
really like a
access.
set system for this city.
Yeah, okay. I meant more like I don't want to Google Imperial floor plans on my personal data pad.
Here's what I will
Let
say.
me find the library computer.
Here's what I'm going to say that you do know is you do know that it is not an enclosed structure.
Okay.
I'll give you that much. So it's not like the Imperial compound. Given the time you spent, you would know similarly to most of the like compounds. It's a compound in that there's a wall around it, and access is limited into it. It does not have like a roof necessarily.
So
You said it's kind of
buildings
set
inside.
aside from town, so there's not a nearby building where we could like.
It's on the outskirts. There can be a building on the outskirts of town that you could probably do some spying.
Okay, just something I might do at some point, depending how the rest of today goes. I might come up with an excuse to be somewhere where I could look for comings and goings and delivery trucks and stuff like that. I don't know if Drifter's going to give me a call, so I'm not banking on that. I'm trying to think of secondary and tertiary plans.
I mean, we can always go classic, and I flirt my way up with those guys over there.
Do it. They got to live in a barracks or something.
Well, it seems like. I mean, what do we need? Let's look at this. What do we need? We need a way to get on to the property, and then an excuse or a reason to perhaps get into the right location. But we need to know where that location is. Do we need to? I mean, will anything do? Can we just do it from anywhere once we're on the property?
That's concerning.
Yeah, why is he rolling?
I think these are conversations that we should have somewhere else.
Yeah.
We dipped in here for kind of a game plan and to kind of set our mood for the day. But let's talk elsewhere, and let's get this plan rolling. Like, let's not spend all day futzing about it. Let's cast some lines and see if anything comes up.
Okay, so where are you going to head off to?
We immediately
back to
split
the
the
ship.
party.
Say that one more time.
If Ellie's not going to go chum them up, sitting in Fear Talk's lounge, I feel like we have followed this lead to the ground. So if she doesn't start something else, then Vosk is the sort to start trying to find something else.
Well, Kane was trying to strike up a conversation with them. Did
Sure.
that go
I was
in?
just trying to see if there was anything to look out for in here. Make sure that we weren't being watched or anything like that.
Hmm.
So that's all. I just wanted to identify if there were any.
I see.
Yeah, Kane would actually want to go probably case the joint for a while. See, like Vosk was saying, look at ins and outs and people coming and going, and
Well, this is of course my specialty, So
Yeah,
let's
when's
do
the
it.
space FedEx truck show up? Like, is it after lunch every day? What
So,
can we work with?
I will
here?
say, as you guys are talking, the two individuals that you identified as probably Imperial agents, we'll say, kind of get up and start walking out.
I'm gonna follow.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Let's have you roll.
Some stealth.
Let's roll some stealth.
Hey, baby.
And that'll be against.
Are you
da.
giving us a signal to
Oh, shoot.
let you go on your own?
Not particularly. He would have just gotten up and seeing those two leave. He would have gotten up and followed.
Oh, I guess we're going. So I would come. If you
Maybe-
get up to leave, I'm gonna get up and leave.
I'm gonna hold him and count to 5 and then let you go.
Sure.
Just
You're holding Zarko?
yes, holding
Okay.
Zarko. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. Okay.
Sorry, I accidentally X'd out of the roll 20, so give me half a second.
You're good.
It
You
happens.
want me to load the dice pool or?
Yeah, that's what I'm pulling up my NPC.
Oh, yeah, because of post checks. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oof.
Character sheets.
I'm gonna finish my
Space.
drink.
Star Wars is cool.
Boss is gonna finish his drink, and he's gonna kind of say goodbye to Fear Talk, and leave that way. I'm not gonna rush out the door after the Kane Zarko debacle.
Yeah, I'm gonna slow Zarko to a walk behind Nick, so we're kind of separated,
Okay.
or behind Kane rather.
The
Well,
dice
so
pool.
when Kane got up to leave, Zarko was just thinking, "Oh, I guess we're out of here." So he probably just took a swig and stood up like he's gonna follow Kane. And then if Ellie is kind of giving him a moment, grabbing him to, so he doesn't just walk away, then he'll just kind of hang,
Yeah, and then
raise
I'll
an eyebrow, maybe
No,
I'll,
Ellie just Gillette razor ad, arm across your chest. Is like, nah, bro. And then give you a couple of seconds.
All right, the dice pool's ready.
dope.
One failure.
not stealthy.
Not apparently.
All right.
It's all my fault.
Kane, you start getting up. Zarko gets up at the same time. That military training is more direct than stealthy and undercover. And as you get up, both of the individuals look back at you, and they say, and one of them says to you, and he's a human, kind of well cut, very military looking kind of hairstyle. Looks like you probably need a little bit longer in your booth to enjoy your breakfast,
Mate.
and then keeps walking, and you see both of them kind of keep continually looking over their shoulders, very
Are they
aware
just-
of you.
Okay. They're just walking out the door.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna follow him.
Okay. What's the rest? What are the rest of you doing? You went up to say thanks to Fear Talk, correct? Vosk?
In my head, there's two groups. There's Kane with Zarko a couple of steps behind, and then Vosk and Ellie who take a second to not necessarily clean up the table, but move all the cups to the center and think Fear Talk. We don't necessarily roll straight out, but that's just how I was imagining it.
Yeah. I'm gonna Zarko. are you? I'm gonna put this in your court. Are you gonna kind of stay back after Ellie like told you to be cool, or are you gonna see that interaction and follow Kane?
I would definitely like watch what he does, sort of take a signal from that. So if I see that Kane, like I see that interaction between them, and sort of just like I'm still at the table with Vosk and Ellie.
Okay.
And then I would imagine I just keep an eye on that and watch and see if Kane then leaves out the door, then he would,
Then go. Yeah,
Then
staggered
follow.
leaving.
yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
So Vosk, as you kind of go up to Fear Talk, she leans over to you.
Do we have a sense? Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
Do
no,
we
no,
have
go
a
ahead.
sense of? Okay, there. So Fear Talks, right? Do we know? Is there like an alley that we can go out and like circle around, or some like catch another angle or something like that, or is it like her back kitchen is her back kitchen and nobody goes in there or anything? Like
Yeah, I would say there's at least 2 exits. There's the kind of the main exit. There's kind of a side door, and there is, if you remember, the kind of bar section is in the center of the room.
Right.
But there is a back room. So I'd say there's 2 exits in a back room.
2 exits and a back room.
Yeah.
All right. So when he sees Kane going for that one, he probably looks to Ellie and Vosk and goes to the opposite, whatever that
Yeah.
other
I'll
exit is,
Nod towards it too. If like
with
yes,
a
go
little
there.
bit of a quickness. He's gonna like try to go out that way, and maybe again, this Zarko is very good about being quiet too. So he's just gonna try to go get another angle where they might not be looking for it.
Okay.
Sorry, that was air quotes. I shouldn't do that.
As long as you say air quotes,
Right?
then it's fine. Then it's fine. So Vosk, as you walk up to Fear Talk, she says, she leans over and whispers kind of quiet to you. There's a lot of tension about this. Not sure what it's about. Be careful. I like you all. And then she kind of goes back to cleaning. Kane, after they kind of say that to you, how do you react to that?
Confused, as I'm just trying to leave this bar, and they are preventing me from doing so.
They kind of look back at you, and they leave the bar. They let you be, but you can tell that they're on pretty high alert, given like kind of the timing of you both leaving. But they start walking away
down the street.
Yeah, and they actually walk over to a little speeder. Are you pursuing them? Help me see what you're doing.
Yeah. Are they like getting on the speeder to leave?
Yeah, they're getting in. It's kind of, imagine a less janky version of the speeder that Luke and Obi-Wan drive around in episode 4 in.
It's a car, not a motorcycle.
Yeah. But they kind of get into that, and you see them kind of turn that on, and they start to leave, headed towards where you would know that compound is.
Okay.
If you want to interrupt anything in that process, you're welcome to.
No, I think I'll let them be. No license plate numbers on the speeder.
I'd say it stands out a little bit. It's a little cleaner than most of what you're used to seeing. You feel like you could probably identify it pretty easily.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just take note of that and I'll head back inside.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Zarko,
all the rest of us have left out the other door.
Yeah,
So,
as Zarko, as you've gone around, you kind of watch the same thing. You see them driving away. Is there anything you'd want to do?
Not at this point. I was just trying to, like, again, make sure Kane wasn't on his own in case anything crazy happened. He's still a little on edge after the 2 incidents yesterday.
Okay, so as you guys all kind of reconvene in Fear Talks, she says, "You all need to come back to my office." And she just walks back into where like kind of the kitchen area is, goes through another door, and sits down and waits for you all to join.
Okay.
This ought to be interesting.
Oh dear.
Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else in the bar right now?
There's a couple individuals, people you recognize as other mechanics, other kind of working
Regulars.
class people getting some breakfast basically before they're headed off to work.
I make
Still
like
early in the day.
a casual mental note, just like number of people in very broad stroke, like a couple of humans, a Duro, whatever. Just later, if I need to think back to this moment, I want to be like, wait, that's the guy from the bar.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So I'd say you get a good size up of the bar. As you sit down, there's only 2 chairs in her office.
I'll stand.
There's
Zarko slumps down in one.
it's pretty messy. Kind of bookkeeping and all that stuff is not her specialty. But she says, "You all are making some interesting choices the last 2 days." And I've said this, I've reiterated this. I like you all.
Work's just been really difficult, and there's a couple of opportunities that have come along that not only might mean money, but maybe a chance to do the right thing around here.
I like the right thing.
And besides, we're a little on edge. Sorry. I mean, I'm not used to getting shot at like that, and yeah.
Blaster bolts will do that to you. But the more you tell me, the more I can help you. You've been good to my bar. You've not caused much trouble. Aside from the last 24 hours.
Sorry.
Ellie, I don't know what has got a price so big on your head.
What
Don't
price
know
were
if
you
it's-
quoted, by the way?
It was about 35,000. Last I heard.
It's gone up again.
Okay.
I guess what I'm trying to say is you probably shouldn't spend too much more time on this rock. And if you have a job that can get you off, let me help you.
Sounds like a plan, Fair Talk. We're in an information gathering capacity currently. Somebody wants us to do a little bit of snooping around with the Imperials. We think it has something to do with the Empire and the Hutts and whatever deal they got going. And
It's
we
just
need,
looking for information.
yeah, not the kind of excitement that was in here the other day. We just want to get in, do what we need to do, and get out.
Something quiet.
Quietly.
That is something I like to hear. Because I don't want people coming in here with blasters. I can hold my own, but it's not great for business.
I'm not looking to get shot again, Fair Talk.
I don't blame you. It doesn't feel good.
You get used to it.
No, you don't.
Zarko gives a hard look to Kane. Not a hard look, but like definitely is turning. Like that was a very unexpected thing to hear.
So what do you need?
Plan?
We need
Plan?
We need access to the Imperial system.
we need to get into this. Probably onto the compound. I mean, unless there's some other way to get their information.
Yeah, if we're making a wish list, we need the layout of the compound. We need a way to access the correct spot where this information is held. We need a way in and out without being noticed or caught.
That's
She's
a
got
lot.
quite a list.
Yeah, that's a list. Well,
you said the more that we tell you, the more you can help. So
No, that's good. There's a couple options that I see. If you want to go all Black Ops style, you can probably get over the walls with the right equipment. But
I like the sound of that.
This compound here, I've been in it. They're not as strict, I hear, as kind of other settlements. As you kind of got to keep looser rules if they want to deal with anybody on the planet.
how did you get in?
They invited me. They have a small little diner. They had some terrible. It was really bad food.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. That's why they brought me. They wanted some help because the people kept spending all their money and all their time over here, which in retrospect was a bad business move. But they did pay me for the one-time thing. I don't get the residuals or anything. Doesn't matter.
Well, if you maybe wanted to let them know you could make some amends and some improvements, you could send in some
I'm
help?
going to help you. I'm not getting involved.
Okay. Just trying to float some plans.
I think she's trying to say that you could say we were working for you, but I agree. Let's
Not
wrangle
using
as
them if we
few
don't have
people
to.
into this as possible. We're looking for a reason that we could go in there, whether it be workers or delivery personnel or there to visit somebody. We do have, and Voss is going to kind of turn over his shoulder to wherever Ellie's at. I imagine you're in the other chair.
Yeah.
And say, what was the name of the guy that we gotta give the note to?
Kaizet.
Fair talk. When you went in there, do you know if there was any kind of like visitor process? Like if we say, hey, we're here to see this person.
I was just kind of escorted in.
Did they have a checkpoint? Like at the gate, they have a check.
Yeah,
they have like a
at the
guard
gate,
there, a
at-
station or something.
There's a couple guards that let people in and out. When I was in there, what I noticed is there's a second kind of more secure location. So I imagine if saying that you're there to visit somebody might get you in. I also think if you could say you're delivering something could work. I hear there's a ship they're working on currently called the Gale's Torment.
Why not just name it the Insider Joke?
That's too obvious.
This is also too obvious.
If you're delivering some parts, they'd probably let you in.
I mean, we do have the name of Darian that is already working in there. Maybe we just say that we're going in to work with him.
Oh, Darian's in there? Yeah, I say bring in some parts for him. I bet you get at least into the main section.
Yeah, getting in doesn't sound
Right.
like the problem with that plan. It's then getting out that I worry about.
Well, if Feartalk thinks we can scale the walls, I mean that's right up my alley. Climbing and all that. That's nothing. We can get over. I mean, how tall are these walls? Are they fences? Are they like, is it Durasteel? What are we talking about?
I mean, it's the same as, and I'm going to step out of character for a second.
Yeah, sure.
Most of the structure around Vakea really resembles a lot of what you see in like Mos Eisley or Tatooine. So like this
That Adobe style.
Adobe style.
Mhm.
The main difference is you're on this volcanic planet, and so most of it's more like this dark gray like coloring as opposed to the like
It's
light
Mos
tan.
Eisley, but edgy.
Yeah, edgy Eisley. So
Okay.
yeah.
So we go back to the ship and we get a bunch of random parts from my spare tool bin, and we pretend that we're showing up to meet the other mechanic. But then what's our plan to get close to this mainframe? How do we get into the...
I mean,
Especially
Just so
considering that
many
there's a whole group
things.
of us. Like, if it was one person sneaking in, one or two people, but I don't know. I don't see 5 mechanics needing to work on this ship at the same time.
yeah, especially if you're really going in as delivery.
And I'm not trying to say we should split up. I'm just saying we need to think about the number of people that we have, and we should have reasons for, if not that number of people, then maybe don't show up altogether.
Yeah, honestly, it might be safer to have pairs. So that if one of us gets caught on the way in, the other can still get through.
I suppose Kane and I could potentially go in, as you said, Black Ops style. I mean, that's definitely more my style.
Oh, it's definitely my style. Probably a little bit more my style.
Zarko wants to scale those walls so bad.
Nah, it's. I mean,
I love
What
it.
if
Zarko is a
already writing
survivalist.
grappling hook on his character sheet?
there's also this sort of like grimace on his face as he realizes he and Kane have something in common again. Is like, rankles him.
What if we use the delivery as sort of a way to get in and leave a way for us to get back in, like hack a system or leave a footprint or at least get an idea of what we're looking at. Get in, get out, and then make a plan from there.
That's a.
There
great
shouldn't be
way
any
to-
harm in showing up for a delivery, kind of getting a scope of the place and
Hey.
getting a better idea than we can sitting here in the bar.
Yeah.
And then if we need to come back and say, "Hey, we're here with more stuff," we can show up again. But getting us more information, I think, is going to be key here. And we can always head back to the ship and adjust our plan as needed.
I like this. Intel is good. Hey, so maybe Kane and I, we can go. He actually will pull out macro binoculars probably and say, we can go take a look while you two try. And he points to Vosk and Ellie. Says, while you two actually go in and make a contact or do what you do, maybe the two of us can go and take a look see from a different vantage point.
Sounds fair.
Fear Talk looks at you all and says, well, it seems like you've got a little bit more under wraps now. And I don't think any of you are going to get killed. So why don't you leave this building and discuss any more details where I can't hear you. And I don't have to tell anybody that I know what's happening.
Thank you for your
That's
time.
exactly the plan. I want to keep you out of this as much as possible.
Of course.
That's Vosk's plan, though. Go back to the ship, kind of grab a whoosy what's it that looks important, and basically show up at the front door to be like, "Hey, I'm here to meet Drifter's other guy.
Tyrion.
You needed a hypermatter reactor igniter or whatever." Like,
Classic.
Your gate guard is not gonna necessarily know what that particular piece of machinery is. So,
Okay.
Do you have any kind of fancy data pads or comm links? Anything you could leave behind to give us a key in, Vosk?
I've got my. I imagine that we're already leaving.
Yeah.
Fair Talks, by the way. I've got my data pad, and I will actually check my character sheet. I
Likewise.
think I have a standard data pad.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got any slicing gear. I doubt it. I was crushed for cash.
Do we need to?
Well, we're not
we have
crushed
some
for cash now.
Yeah,
we
we
could
have some
pick up
resources
some
if we-
things.
Yeah, if we need to get
Have-
stuff.
We could
I-
turn this into
I
a
think we
shopping episode.
I mean, we definitely at some point should pick up some medical supplies.
Kane's background knowledge of technology and how that stuff operates is pretty limited. So as far as I'm concerned, I think you just plug something in and then all of a sudden, we have
It
full access to the facility.
Nice.
Can we get something like that?
I'm gonna
I have a hand scanner,
I'm gonna-
just for the record.
say real quick, if there's anything you do want to buy, there are enough places in Vikea that you could pick up basic equipment. If it's something that's more black market or something outside of the credit range, let me know. But if not, you guys can just do
I'm
your
hearing
thing.
thermal detonators are a hot commodity in this campaign right now.
So
And I have a fair amount of money. I have 616 credits that we can do.
I think I also have 600 and something.
wow, that's awesome. So med pack is 400. I have standard macro binoculars unless we want to get something else in the way of surveillance kind of, stuff. I'm not super familiar with what is available.
Oh.
And in the meantime, one thing that that Zarko would have done on the way out is he probably would have just said to Furtok, like, "You're a good one. You're a good one, Furtok. Thank you."
I know.
I would have snuck like 10 more credits like in the junk in her desk if I can, so that like she'll find it later.
Nice.
All
Because
right.
everybody likes finding money they didn't know they had.
Right.
I'll say you do that.
Deal.
I don't have the money, and I cannot think of anything that I would need to purchase currently. So Vosk's plan is go to the ship to grab a whoozy what's it to help sell the story, and show up at the front gate looking for the other mechanic. And if they turn me away for that, then I would like to ask for. I am sucking at remembering these names. The guy we need to give the note to. Well, since I came all the way out here,
Kaizet.
Kaizet.
is Kaizet around? I'd like to say hi. That's my plan.
So, how far is it? How long would it take Kane and Zarko if we're gonna try to just like hoof it?
I don't know, half an hour, 20 minutes. Not terribly long. It'd be quicker in a speeder. It's basically in the opposite direction of where the hangars are.
So, are there like what's around it? Is it all like flat? Are there?
There's some buildings. When I say it's on the edge of the when I say it's on the edge of the city, I don't mean like it's separated from the city. It's just kind of past it. There's not much. There's some buildings, a little bit less activity. There's not as much of the like the junk shops and the and chop shops and all that kind of stuff are
Right.
not quite as much around. There's a few decent sized buildings around though. It seems like a lot of this end of town is more
Can we? One thing is, can we have said that on our way back into the spaceport, we scanned, like did the best scan we can? I'm imagining they maybe have some kind of blockers or scramblers or whatever, but at least a visual of like, okay, that's what it looks like.
So you if you guys are going back, you guys are kind of scouting out while Vosk and Ellie are headed back to the ship.
Yeah, I mean that's the idea, but I would imagine that even before, we would have maybe flown the ship around it or something, just to get
the visual that you kind of get from the front is it looks like there's a few watchtowers around this walled kind of circular compound. There's a main gate. Looks like you could drive a fairly large vehicle through it. While you're even there, you see a couple speeders go in and out.
Sure.
The thing that kind of stands out the most is people going in and out, and even what appear to be guards stationed. None of them are wearing official Imperial insignias or anything like that. They are obviously trying to fit into this city as best as they can. There's also kind of a second like foot entrance with one guard there seeming to check people in pretty casually as they go through.
Okay. So I imagine Kane and Zarko are like shoulder to shoulder. Does Kane have binoculars too?
He does not.
Okay, so Zarko would just like share them with you. It's like we're gonna look for like towers, landing pad. Where are the vehicles? I'll try to get as much of an understanding of the lay of the land. Like, where are the buildings that we see the most traffic in and out of? Does anything look specifically like oh, that looks like it's kind of a warehouse, but that looks like it might be offices or something along those lines?
If you guys are trying to go, I'm gonna say you guys are trying to you're doing a real thorough scouting mission. So why don't you give me one of you give me a perception roll, and the other can assist in that.
Gladly. I think I have an okay perception. Yeah, 1 yellow, 2 green.
I have 2 green.
So I get a boost from that. Is that right?
What was the math again?
I have 1 yellow and 2 green, and Kane has 2 green.
Then it's just a boost.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, super.
Do you put that in on your end?
I can.
Okay.
Reset.
Okay. Yep.
Roll in. How about 1 success and 1 advantage?
Okay.
So-
And you're looking for the layout of this area. So you guys find a building, almost like a rooftop. There's an abandoned building. Like I said, kind of business kind of has stayed away more from the Imperial specific section. As you look over, you see, using your binoculars, specifically kind of they seem to have their own hangars. You see space for about 6. You see 3 TIE fighters and 1
transport
ship. It's a HWK light freighter. There is kind of an open area in the center. What you would guess would be the living quarters, as people just kind of go in and out casually, and a few other buildings. Where the hangars are seems to be there's added security. It's about a 4-story building. At the base of it, you see 2 sets of 3 stormtroopers kind of guarding it. And anybody that you see go in and out of there stops at something. It's a little far away to get a good visual. And you're not sure if they swipe something, plug in a code or something, but to get into that building. The rest of it seems much lower on security.
Can we tell from our distance? I'm not sure how good the binoculars are. Can I see kind of what at the gate they're checking for? Like, is he comparing with the list? Is he looking for credentials?
At the front gate or the more secure one?
Both, really.
The more secure one, the guards are really just standing there. Whatever is happening at a terminal. The entrance, usually there's some sort of conversation. You don't necessarily see any specific credentials or codes or anything passed in. Basically looks like if the guards, if whoever is guarding this facilities feels like you're good, you can get in.
Personal identification.
All right. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if we stay there for a little while, can we get a good idea of how many people seem to be in the compound? What are the numbers? Like, how many do we see just sitting there for a while?
I'll say you got an advantage. It's not super heavily populated. There's not a ton of people going in and out, though. I'd say like someone goes in and out about every hour. There are maybe at any given time between 5 and 10 people just kind of wandering through the compound outside of the obviously stationed individuals.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would imagine we'd probably spend a couple, like 3-4 maybe hours there, like observing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's about what
it would probably take about that much time for Ellie and Voss to get in and out anyhow. And we probably would try to keep track of when that happens.
Okay, so you guys are going to stay there for Ellie and Vosk?
I think so.
Okay, so Ellie and Vosk, talk me through what you're going to try.
The original plan is to literally walk straight up to the front gate and see what happens.
Okay.
With a box of things to give, air quotes, right?
Right.
to like pass off to Darian.
I've swapped back to mechanic tape on my coveralls, and I'm gonna kind of just walk up to the front gate, and I'm waiting on them to talk first. Like, I'm not gonna barge up and demand entrance. I want to see. I'm getting a feel for the process.
Okay. So as you walk up, one of the guard it's another human. Most of the people working here, every guard you see is human. Says, state your business.
I got word that one of Drifter's men is here working on a ship, and that he could probably use one of these. And I hold up this like chunk of metal with like some random wires and stuff hanging off of it.
Okay.
I didn't know whether it was best to drop it off here or to leave it at the shop, but I heard he's working right now. Don't know the details too much, just kind of dropping it off.
God, he must be. I don't know what he's doing, but he's been doing like the fourth delivery today. Yeah, go on in.
All right, in we go. What do we see?
So as you get in, the compound is kind of the center of it is open. As you kind of look to your right, you see what at a quick glance you can kind of guess is like either a barracks or almost like an apartment building. The bottom floor has a large, almost like lounge section, and you see people in pretty casual clothes kind of going up and down, in and out of there. To your left, you see what actually looks like the diner that Fear Talk described. You see there's like 10 booths, a lot of glass windows. And why don't you roll me a perception?
And let me know when it's set.
It is set.
2 successes and a threat.
Okay. So as you look in that diner, you see an individual that looks very similar to the drawing that Shay gave you. You also hear from behind you, "Hey, I thought you had a delivery. Get moving."
Right. Sorry. A little bit nicer than where I'm sleeping. Got a little distracted, and I'm gonna head kind of towards the hangars.
Okay. So the hangars.
Actually, I'm gonna take like 2 steps towards the hangar, and then turn around and just be like, I don't mean to like press my luck here, but are civilians allowed to eat in the diner, or
You got the credits?
money's money, right?
Money's money.
All right, maybe on the way out, and we're gonna head towards the hangars.
All right. So the hangars, you have to go through this kind of more secured area that I've already described a little bit. So I'm not going to re-describe it. But as you approach, you see those 2 sets of 3 stormtroopers, which you see they're the first individuals that you've noticed are in Imperial uniform, kind of in this whole compound, and you can see kind of through this building is almost like glass, and so you can actually see through a lot of it. And you see one of the ships being worked on, kind of through a couple sets of glass through, but it's almost like blast doors that you have to get through.
Has there been anywhere that looks like the main building, somewhere where like they're
this
mainframe?
This is the main building.
Okay. Are the hangars a part of the main building?
Yeah. So sorry, I didn't describe that super well. So this main building that's got a lot of glass on it, looks to be kind of the central where people go in and out of,
right.
Almost like it would function as perhaps security offices, overseeing that whatever is going on in the hangars as well.
Would I need to go through there to get to the hangars?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to walk up that way.
Okay. Kind of similar
to whatever checkpoint or whatever.
Similar protocol. But one of the stormtroopers says, "What's your business?"
Bring it apart to the gent from the mechanic shop. He's the one working on the freighter in there.
State your part.
I hold it up.
Give me a deception.
Sweet. I am going to be one of those jerks that says that this part, having a prop, totally gives me a boost die on this roll, right?
Sure.
I'm going to also use one of my light side points to upgrade.
Okay, I put the boost die in.
Okay,
On my
I'm gonna click the button on the upgrade here and see if it works, and I will roll twice if it doesn't.
Okay.
So I am using a light side point. I have clicked upgrade. I am clicking deception. It should be a yellow, 2 greens, and a blue. Nope, it did not upgrade.
Yeah, that does not look like a yellow, 2 greens, and a blue.
Nope. Let me roll a yellow and we'll just see what it gets.
Well, I would say
Oh, yeah.
roll it all again because we can't really say which green it would replace.
I was just going to replace the first one. Let me do it this way then. Everything is loaded on your side, correct? Right?
Oh, it actually upgraded the dark side point.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, just so I have 3 purple dice and a blue dice in the GM dice pool.
Okay, that makes more sense. I think I may have just messed it up on my end because I'm not paying attention. I'm going to click the button again. Ready?
Yep.
There we go. So 3 successes and a threat.
All right. You got thoughts on the threat?
Literally everybody has seen me, and like every gate has has me saying, "This is who I am, where I work, and why I'm here."
Okay.
Also, we're 2 very distinct aliens walking into a compound full of humans.
Yeah. So the voice from behind the helmet says, "You're approved to go in. Enter, go about your business, and leave quickly."
Okay.
And the blast
Thank
doors
you.
open. So Vosk and Kane and Zarko, you have seen them kind of enter in through all this.
Right.
So as you enter in, you see an area to your left that appears to be basically holding cells, kind of heavily guarded. You see an open door kind of to the back of this building to the left. It looks like it leads to the hangars, and you see a couple of basically elevators that look like they go up.
Real quick too. Zarko and I are going to be on alert outside, looking for any. So we've been observing for a while now the patterns of people coming and going and how they're moving, and so we definitely want to be watching out to make sure that there isn't anything afoot, or people aren't moving in directions that we haven't seen them move or anything like that.
Okay, I will keep note of that, and if something comes up, you will note it. All right, Ellie and Vosk.
We are looking for the gent from the mechanic shop. I imagine since I know the shop head that I've either worked with this person or at least seen him in the shop before.
Yep.
So we're gonna head to the ship, and if he's not outside the ship, we're gonna. Is the landing ramp down or anything?
Yeah, you walk out to the ship and you see working basically the side of one of the paneling on the side of one of the ships is just basically on the ground. And in there you see this Falleen, which is kind of lizard-like humanoid, deep green scales, working, and you would recognize him, Vosk, as a as Dirian.
Okay.
Just kind of working, pulling stuff out.
What is the Imperial situation in here? Is anyone in the hangar with the ship watching this happen, or is it through is there a control tower that's kind of just watching through the window?
It's basically him, and you see a couple of astromech droids kind of working. As far as other individuals in this specific hangar, you don't see anyone.
Okay, I'm gonna get close enough that I don't have to like yell, but I'm gonna speak loud enough that he can hear me over the work he's doing, and kind of just start with a, well, what's this? Keeping busy?
Rosk, I didn't expect to see you here.
I didn't really expect to be here, but you know how it is.
Drifter sent you this way?
Chatted him up this morning, let him know that I'm kind of looking for work, and he said that y'all had stumbled upon a bit of work here, and if it's the only work happening in town, I wanted to see if I could assist in any way.
Well, these astromech droids don't know much more than their programming. You wanna jump on and help me with something?
Sure. Hope you don't mind if I bought a friend. She can entertain herself while we get what we need done. But what are you doing?
This is I'm not really sure about this piece of tech. It's a kind of experiment. Supposed to attach it to the hyperdrive and supposed to help keep people safer during hyperspace travel. I've never had a bad experience though.
So it's a mod install, some kind of experimental tech.
Yeah. See, and he kind of shows you, and it's a fairly large piece of, almost like, for lack of a better way of saying it, almost like duct taped together.
Clearly a prototype.
Yeah, exactly. That he's basically putting into the hyperdrive. Because I don't know, they're paying a lot of money for it, and there's not a lot of these things around.
What kind of ship did you say this was? Was it a Hawk?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you need a hand manhandling it up there, or do you want me in the cockpit running diagnostics?
Grab a couple of hydro spanners. Well, we need to get this properly attached.
Okay.
And why don't you, for funsies, give me a mechanics check?
Sure.
If only you were any good at those.
Why would you say that before I roll, man? Like, why are you going to put that juju on me? I am clear on this end if you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Steady. 2 successes, 2 advantages.
All right. How do you want to use those advantages?
Work's going well, and he's not questioning too much that I brought some random person with me who's not here for mechanicking.
And I'll say it takes you guys a good hour to get this thing kind of properly attached to the best of your abilities. Ellie, while they're working on that, is there anything you want to do?
I definitely want to be like, sorry, what?
Now's your chance.
Oh,
Scout.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I'm definitely observing the like actual thing that's happening, but then I'm also maybe gonna go a little bit of wandering, if that's okay.
Where are you wandering to?
Well, I'm gonna make it look like I'm wandering to find a restroom, but then gonna go just kind of see if I can, air quotes, maybe accidentally find somewhere important.
This isn't where I parked my car.
So just to lay out that, I'm assuming you're going back into that main building.
Maybe, yeah. Bless you.
Wow, that was exciting. So as you entered, there were two kind of elevators up, and there was a holding cell.
Yep.
Or a set of holding cells.
So
help
me paint a better mental picture here.
Yeah, please.
We're in a bay with a ship.
Mm-hmm.
Is there only the one in and out?
Yeah,
the
basically
tower?
each hangar has a specific kind of almost like pathway. So when you walked out of that building, there were 6 different pathways you could have taken that each lead to a separate hangar.
Okay. Is it all on ground level? I imagine the ship's on ground level.
Yeah,
but we stayed ground level through that building with the stormtroopers.
Exactly. Yeah. All 6 are kind of that open Mos Eisley sort of port, if you will.
Okay.
Was the primary building all one story, or is there a second
building
floor?
Looks to be 3 to 4 stories.
Okay.
And glass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I am definitely gonna say for the benefit of Darian, though, just know where a restroom is around here, but then also give Vosk the head tail signal for wink wink.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna
You
pull-
also have the paper, by the way.
Yeah, I figured I was holding the Kaizet picture.
He says, "Oh, the second floor. You'll see it. It's easy to find."
Cool, thank you. Wink wink,
Yep.
and then try and leave that way.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to go into the second floor. It seems like once you're in, there's not too many questions asked. As long as you've been let in and followed those proper protocols. You get to the second floor. Bunch of offices. There's lots of different basically hollow screens, people working on various things. And you do see a restroom.
Cool.
There's a few terminals, open desks.
Yeah. Is there any place that looks particularly like I shouldn't try and get in?
On this level, no. But you do
Okay.
know there's 2 more levels.
Yep. Trying to figure out how much I want to risk right now. Yeah. I will see if I can go up to the 3rd floor. And check that very casually.
Yeah. So as the 3rd floor opens, this
Mhm.
room is very different. There is an individual waiting at more or less of a desk.
Oh.
Another human.
Oh, great.
Female. She says, "Are you lost?"
Probably. I was looking for the restroom somewhere. Somebody told me it was in this building.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a section down. There is one just down the hall if you would like to use that.
Oh, that would be real nice. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Of course.
This direction? And point down.
just down that way.
Thank you.
As you go, you pass a door that just slides open as you pass it. And in there, it looks command center-y,
Great.
if you will.
Cool.
As you kind of look past it, since you're doing this scouting thing, there are 2 very official-looking Imperial officers in there.
Cool.
You see a few other people working. Kind of, it's almost a 2-level situation, right? So these 2 officers are basically on this platform raised above everyone else, looking out over onto the hangars. You can actually see all 6 of them. You see a few TIE fighters, as well as this ship that you saw with Vosk. And you see a few different stations, if you will. Not all of them filled, but with individuals at them.
Okay. I'm not going to press my luck any further. I will at least spend an adequate amount of time in the restroom and then go back and just kind of, as I'm on my way out, just be like, thank you very much. And then just leave and go back to the hangar.
Okay. So you get back to the hangar. Vosk, you finished up your job. Darian says, "It's nice to have someone else who knows what they're doing."
Like I said, I'm kind of hurting for work, kind of hurting for money. I'm not looking to be paid right now. It was just chance that we ended up here, and I was looking to kind of give a hand and maybe remind your boss that I'm good at what I do. And so
I'll put in a good word for you.
Hey, if you get work done in half the time, so be it.
I agree. Well, we should go in. Why don't you come with me? We tell these pompous Imperials that the job's done.
You bet. I want to see see the reactions they got that we got done so quick, and yeah, we'll
Right.
leave it at that.
So
We wanted to stop and check out the food, see if it was better than Fairtax, right?
True that. I'm willing to buy you a drink if they got anything worth the credits in the lounge as well. But one step at a time. Let's go see what they say.
yeah, so he leads you back into this compound up to that same third floor. And he says, "Hey, Commander, your ship should work." And this human, short black hair, male, very well groomed, very like neat pressed imperial grays. Says, "Oh, good. Happened quicker than you said it would." He says, "Well, got a little help from a delivery friend. Good worker. Well, let me
Turns
give you
out-
your payment." Were you gonna say something?
I was gonna say when he gave me the I got a little help. Vosk was just gonna offhandedly comment that sometimes you need an extra pair of hands, and Astromech ain't got any. And I'm kind of like doing the stereotypical mechanic wiping his hands on the red rag that every mechanic ever has, and
Well,
kind of like stuff
that's
it
why
back
we're-
in my pocket.
That's why we're here. We're not having Astromechs do our major upgrades. Anyways, glad you were able to help. Darian, payment as requested, and he hands over a fairly large couple of credit sticks. Says, and then he looks at you, Vosk. Says, "I would recommend not sharing what you worked on."
I was just here to make an impression so that I might get a job. I'm not here to put my nose where it doesn't belong.
Well,
Guys got to eat.
if you let me know where to find you, I might have a couple other jobs for you then.
I've left my contact information with Drifter, so no further hardship on your part. You just let him know and put in a good word.
And you also notice, kind of as this conversation is happening, the other officers up there, is just kind of rolling her eyes at this whole thing. Does not seem super impressed. He says, "Well, good. I'll let Drifter know."
Impressed on our part, or impressed on like Mr.
Just the whole thing.
I spent 2 hours ironing my uniform this morning.
Like, she just seems upset about being here, and the work being done.
Join the Empire, see
Yeah.
the galaxy, end up
Exactly.
on Socorro,
Yeah.
babysitting mechanics.
Ellie, are you doing anything?
Being as unassuming as possible right now, and also being as observant as possible right now.
When we came up here, Vosk is kind of, I'm not trying to be obvious, but I'm looking for computers, terminals,
Yeah,
a place
same.
that might lead us to what we need.
Why don't I'm gonna have Ellie give me one more perception check.
Cool.
Where did Roll20 go? Yeah, it's good. It's average.
Okay. Good to go.
Yep. Okay, so as this is happening,
2 successes.
you notice that there's in this room, kind of the surrounding walls all have what look to be terminals, where someone would work. They seem empty, and in the middle is where there's there's 8 different stations, and half of them are filled with workers. But there are a couple terminals around that are open.
For use, maybe.
Mhm.
Apparently. Okay.
What
You also saw the.
are we talking, like just random cubicles, or like a
Picture like each station has a fairly large hollow screen in front of them, and a computer that would basically get to about their head.
okay?
So
So it's not walled in, But it is, everything's a little bit obscured from each other, and everybody seems pretty focused.
But it's like a desk space. It's not
Yeah.
like a random terminal on a hallway wall.
Correct.
It's like a cube where you would need to sit down at a computer.
Yeah.
Top Brass is wearing the pressed uniform. What are the other people sitting at the terminals wearing?
They're also wearing kind of Imperial uniforms.
Okay.
Nothing really stands out. They seem like people working.
What's kind of the like attitude I get from them? Like, are they like, I'm focused, my job is great, or is it like, I hate this, get me out of here?
9 to 5, ready to go home.
Okay. Okay.
This 9 to 5 brings up another question that I would like to work in at some point. So just before I forget, at some point, Voss is going to ask his new mechanic friend, hey, like, what's the working hours? They only get you out here in the heat of the day, or, is there second and third shift? Like, are they a 24-hour op or just day shift kind of thing, basically?
He says, when they call, we come. Do a job. Once the job's done, they pay. Per diem, if you will.
Yeah, I've noticed ships are want to break down at odd hours of the night. So, just curious if I should.
Well, why don't we talk about it a little bit more when we get that drink you offered?
You bet.
Ellie?
Let's do it.
I'm not doing anything really in particular.
Okay.
I guess like if they say that, I'll just like nod and follow and fall in line.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys walk back out to you're going to the little kind of
The diner.
diner.
I'm not going to press my luck with computers and stuff now. And we only have half the party here, and the other half doesn't know what's going on. So we're going to see if we can play past the note.
later.
And
Zarko looks over to Kane and says, well, at least somebody's getting a good meal.
Yeah, so it's been a couple hours since you saw them enter in there, and you do see them walk out with this other individual and walk
As I reach into my backpack and pass over a ration.
in the movie scene, I'm imagining like we're watching us walk across the courtyard through like Zarko's binoculars,
Right.
and then occasionally like Kane's rifle scope.
Nice.
Just like that, like when you have your friend up on the roof scouting for you, and they're like waiting on the shot kind of thing.
Yeah, I imagine we're behind some kind of like little low flat roofed wall kind of thing.
So you guys walk into this little lounge, and at that can't think of what it's called, the little booth where you saw the individual who looked like Kaizet, you see about 8 empty glass cups, and he's just kind of swaying back and forth a little bit. I need another drink, please. Just kind of almost to nobody.
I will head right on over. I'll just kind of make like a wave at him, be like, I got you, friend. And then like walk over and try and get a drink.
The bartenders, if you're paying for it, I'll give it to you, but you take care of him.
Oh, this is for me so that I can take care of him. I'm not dealing with him entirely sober.
All right, because if he gets my booth dirty and he throws up, you're cleaning it up.
Deal. Also, maybe after the first couple, just from personal experience, switch to the plastic cups, not the glass cups. And then
I use what the Empire gives me. We got glass ones; they like them here. I don't know.
That's
Uh,
fair.
Boss is gonna sit down at the bar and buy a couple of drinks for him and his friend.
So
I don't want him to see the exchange of the note and stuff. I don't want him to be privy to the LE conversation, basically.
So he, as you get him the drink, he kind of looks at you and he says, "Well, hard day's work is good, but these guys, when they call you, just come because they got a lot of credits. So 9 to 5.
Is
1
it
to
all
4.
is it all ship work?
Predominantly, yeah. I mean, that's what I do.
Right. I mean,
It's
it's
all
definitely within my wheelhouse. I just didn't know whether they had anything else specifically or whether it was all, you know.
It's. I've done a few jobs for them, and I get the impression that a lot of this stuff's off their books, if you will, like everything
Yeah.
around here.
I don't want to get too much into the semantics of it. I'm mostly just keeping myself open to other opportunities. So if they needed anything beyond that, I could pursue those leads. But
Yeah. Well, I'll put in a word for you.
ship work definitely pays the bills, and it's why people come here after all. So
Why we're all here, right?
right.
So Ellie, as you walk over carrying a glass of a pint, if you will, he says, "Well, is that for me?"
I take a sip and then sit down next to him and be like, maybe. I'll put it like in between us. You look like you've had a rough day.
A rough life.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I might not be sorry, but at least I
What do you
understand.
What do you want? What do you want?
You look like a friend of a friend.
Doubt that.
Don't think I have friends, or you don't think you do?
Is that a trick question?
I don't know you.
Same.
I'm going to reach and I'm going to pull out the picture and I'm going to keep it folded in half. And I'm going to like put it like on my lap, like under the table, and just kind of like very slowly unfold it.
So he can see it or no?
So that he can see it, yeah. But like under the table so that nobody like seeing us would be able to see what the picture is.
You watch him almost sober up instantly.
Calm down now.
Where did you get that? Where did you get it?
From the girl in the picture.
That's
She
not.
asked me to give it to
That's
you.
not. No. That's not
Why?
possible.
Why not?
She's gone. She's
She
gone.
might have been for a while, but she's not anymore. She wanted you to have this. She didn't really tell me anything else to go with it.
And he's like jaw dropped, just staring at the picture and grabs it from you.
Slide the alcohol closer to him.
And
like,
and you see a tear roll down his face. And he just looks at you and says, "What do you need?"
Right now, I need you to not act so obvious. But in the long term, we need somebody on the inside here. We're looking to get into a computer.
Computer. I can.
Take a drink.
No, I don't need more of. I don't need more of that.
Okay, well, fake a drink, because I said I was getting this for you, so.
Okay. I can.
It's called playing it cool. You kind of gotta sometimes. Okay?
He fakes a drink and leans towards you.
Okay, cool.
They told me they had her captive.
Well, you're gonna need to.
Where is she?
She's on my ship. You're gonna need to explain yourself a little bit more, because I don't know who they is.
The Empire. I work for them because they told me they captured her.
That they have her.
And they knew that she was a rebel. And they were going to execute her if I did not help them.
Okay. Well,
So
As
what
of
do you
now,
need?
she
What
is
do you
safe
need?
on my ship,
Okay.
and that's where she intends to stay, as far as I know.
So you say you need a computer?
We need to get information on the computer.
Follow me. And he just
Not-
gets up and starts walking.
Not now.
He keeps walking.
Oh. I will follow, yeah. I will definitely casually follow him.
Indistinct mechanic small talk at the bar.
So he walks out of this lounge. So Zarko and Kane, you see Ellie following this individual who is not walking super straight. Just kind of right across the alley, and takes you into Ellie. Sorry, Niffer's dying. Excellent
I'm
muting.
really sorry.
Uh,
I'm crucial to the plot right now and not being very helpful with my lungs.
and into these barracks, what actually appears to be more of an apartment building.
Okay.
And he walks you back through a hallway, swipes a card into what appears to be his room. It says, I have everyone in this facility has a terminal that we can get stuff. If you can get into it, you can probably get any information you need.
I'm supposed to look for information on new space travel technology.
Well, go for it.
Do you mind helping maybe a little? I'm supposed to I'm the one that talks. I'm not the one that does the computers. I can try.
I can get you in at least. You're gonna have to find what you're looking for yourself. As he kind of like rubs his eyes and is
We
still.
should have gotten you some water back there.
But I will, if you are gonna make a computer check, which you can, I will give you a boost die.
Oh, great. Okay.
There's
I
a
don't even know
story
where
point
computers
left.
is.
There's one more light side.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Now is a really great time for it.
How can I use a light side die to help?
You can upgrade this computer roll.
Your check.
Sounds good. I will do that. I will do that thing.
Despite
So-
the fact that I messed it up, you should be able to just click upgrade and make sure you do it on the correct side of your dice pool, and it should do it for you.
What's interesting is it moved the light side point when you did it. I don't know.
Should have.
Why did I get myself into this?
I'll click the button for the light side point.
Cool,
So
thanks.
We'll arm ourselves with a DM who has 6 light side points and 15 minutes to use them.
And he's
just
going
make-
to use them all.
Just make sure that you click the upgrade on your sheet. You have to click the upgrade on the good side of your dice
On the
pool.
left side of the sheet.
Me?
Yep.
Yes, you.
All right, here I'll click upgrade. You're
Oh,
good. You
cool.
don't need to click
Oh.
anything. Just
See,
click
I'm
your
just
computer.
playing to part. I am very incompetent with computers, just like Ellie.
Mhm.
So, okay, so computers, here we go. I really don't want to. I don't want to press it right now.
It did not upgrade. See, it needs to be the person making the roll.
Okay,
Weird.
okay, upgrade then. Found it. I can do this. One failure.
Okay. So,
At
as
least
you
there was no threat or despair.
plug in a data pad into this computer, you start getting information, and then instantly the power in the building shuts off.
Great.
And Vosk and Kane and Zarko, you hear warning bells go off. Basically sirens. Klaxons. That's the right word. And
Ah, hell.
I guess that's our cue.
mhm. And you see the guards on the gates are turning. You see the kind of the blast doors shut down hard. And Vosk, you see there were those 2 sets of 3 stormtroopers. You see from that same building, 2 more sets of 3 stormtroopers start running out, running directly towards the apartment building.
Okay. I'm here and I have an alibi.
And
I was in the bar.
I potentially have an out for this, but I don't know if we are like, do we want to end the session there or do we want to try and get it out right now?
both are good options.
How much time do we have?
We got 10 minutes-ish.
How quick is your out? Because I'm about to start shooting. I'm
I
about
say
to start
go for it.
shooting. Oh no.
Okay, I was just gonna kind of like, first of all, I'm gonna check with Zai or Kai and be like, was that supposed to happen? I'm assuming it wasn't. How
and
how
we
would they
need to
know?
get out of here. They will know it's from this computer, and they know it's my room, and they're gonna kill me. We gotta
Okay,
leave.
okay.
And he basically drunk stumbles through the door and just starts running
Okay,
again.
I'm gonna follow him and be like, okay, but hang on, we need to be smart about this and not just rush. Like we can't just rush this because that we'll make mistakes and we'll get caught. What do we?
Your voice changed.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm a little stressed right now. Well,
Okay.
how
you
many
tell me-
exits are there?
You tell me. There's there's the front exit. There's you could go through the hangars. There's
Which is the usually least populated?
There's. I mean, they keep it pretty locked down. The foot entrance to the side of the main gate is probably the least.
Okay,
Or-
then that's where we'll go.
Or
Okay.
we could go to the roof.
How are we going to get out on the roof?
It's close to the wall. We could jump. I don't know.
All right, that's fair. If you think you can make the jump, then let's go for the jump.
It's pretty high. You tell
Okay?
me.
I have a friend that really wanted to climb a wall. Maybe he'll be around to help. Let's do it. And if I have a comm, I'm going to come and be like, Zarko, if you wanted to do some climbing, come help us climb out. And then just hopefully he will be a guardian angel.
Okay. So you start running up. Vosk, what are you doing?
That is a great question. I am sitting in the dark with a mechanic who I'm guessing has absolutely no care in the world to like go running off. He's got a beer and nowhere to be right now.
No, he says, you hear him say basically, well, bartender, I'll take 2 or 3 more. Seems like we're going to be here for a while.
Okay. Looking out through the windows or whatever towards the primary building, you said blast doors were closing. Is that for the exterior gate, or did the center building where we went up to talk to the commander, has that locked down any further?
Center building looks pretty locked down.
Okay. I had toyed around with the concept. I did one casual, like, if everyone's running to the dormitory, does that mean the center building is less guarded? Nope. And I turned back around and I kept drinking.
All right.
I love
Kane
that.
and Zarko.
So goodness gracious. This is gonna get interesting. So did we get the comm message?
Yes.
They didn't jam it.
Not yet.
They didn't flip a dark side point there.
Nope. There's plenty of time.
Well,
there's 8 minutes.
Hell.
Did she just say climbing? Are they gonna go on the roof? Oh dear God!
But I don't even know where to meet her. I mean, even if I want to go, I don't know where to go.
I mean, you saw me go in the apartment building.
True. Yeah. So can
Sounds like
I get a sense of like how where they would potentially jump if they did get to the wall?
Yeah, you would see the kind of the barracks, if you will, where you saw Ellie go into. That building, the roof is about even with the wall.
All right. I don't stand up. I look to Kane and I say, "All right, staying or going?"
Me?
Four-way
No,
party
the
split.
other guy
Four-way
right here.
split.
I'm gonna start a distraction. You get in and get him out.
Oh, jeez. All right, here, and he just slams the macro binoculars kind of into your shoulder, and then he's going to sort of go to the back, where somewhere where it can discreetly go down from the building.
Yeah, I'm
And just start hoofing
running over there.
double time.
Okay. Kane, what's that distraction?
I'm gonna wait till he's going around the side, right? Is that what I heard?
It's
Yeah.
gonna
So
take me a couple minutes at least.
yeah, so I'm gonna give you the couple minutes to get around and start climbing that wall, and then I'm just gonna start opening fire on Imperials.
Okay. Good.
Does your carbine have long range? I don't know.
Yes, it does. I think.
Okay. Are we at long range or are we at extreme range? Or whatever?
I would say long range to kind of scout well enough.
Okay.
I have a few attachments on the weapon that will lengthen or will lessen some of that.
Yeah, I'll say long
Mine.
range. The complication will be it will take some extra maneuvers because you're elevated. So if you want to move a section, you'll be going down. You won't be able to make a straight line, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna need you to yell suppressing fire like Cyril on Archer and just start unloading on the combat.
So you do see two sets of guards who, as soon as these klaxon went off, they pulled their guns out and are vigilantly watching. So you can do with that what you will.
Do we want to start this part right now?
Four-way party split. Start the combat.
I think you should open fire, and we'll find out the rest about what happens next week.
All right, I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm so stressed out right now.
So long range is
Everyone do the niffer.
hard.
Great.
So I have.
Did anyone screenshot that?
Well, we didn't get Nick wasn't doing it, so we get off. Here we go.
You guys are the worst. I'll just crop that and make it look
Right.
like everyone was doing it at the same time.
And that's our new
Okay,
icon.
So I have the telescopic optical sight, so I can
Okay.
reduce the difficulty of range checks at long and extreme by 1.
Okay. So that will make it an average check, I believe. Because long range is hard, if I am remembering that
sounds
correctly.
right.
Long range is hard. There's a big thing on the Roll20 screen.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew Kane wanted vengeance, so
I am going for, since I haven't used any of them, I'm going to use a dark side point for funsies.
Oh,
So,
sorry, we got one back.
Oh, good. I immediately use it.
all right.
You ready?
It is ready.
I'm rolling it. Here we go. Oh God, I'm so scared.
Oh, shoot! That was massive. Are
So
you
that's
serious?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so for everyone listening, that is 2 successes and 6 advantage.
All of the bad dice came up blank.
That is so
We
many crits.
needed that. Oh,
Okay,
we
what's
needed
your
that.
damage?
Where did that go? Oh, I'm sorry. I just rolled the skill. I didn't click the thing like I was supposed to. It's
jeez.
9 damage.
9, so 11 damage.
9 base or 7 plus 2.
Yeah.
should be
So
9 plus 2.
9 plus the 2. Yeah.
So 11 damage
11. Let's see.
Killed all the minions.
and like 2
And I think
crits.
2 of those let me do crits.
Yeah.
Is that right? So
Yeah.
I could
Wait,
crit 3 of them.
What's
of the
your
That'd
four?
be a
what's the
crit
blaster
plus
kind by?
20.
What's the blaster carbine? Is it a crit 3 or crit 2?
It's crit 3.
Yeah, so you can crit 2 of them. Yeah, so there were 4 of these guards up front, and Kane just starts pew, 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 pew. And you see 3 of them just drop.
Yeah.
So fun bit there because there was a critical conversation happening in the other group. I want to note how crits work when you roll a whole bunch of advantage like that. You don't crit multiple times, it makes the crit you do worse, right? Because a critical injury...
Even on minions?
So, no, not on minions, but I want to clarify because there was some confusion, especially Nick was in the chat at the time and had asked for some clarification. Mm-hmm. So when you crit, you roll that D100 roll, right? If you have things like vicious or any other abilities, they can add numbers to your D100 roll. So if you had like 1 vicious on your weapon, it would be a D100 plus 10. Each time you have enough advantage to crit, like if you had, what is your crit rating? 2?
3.
3. Okay, so you have 6 advantage, which is enough for 2 crits. You would not do 2 separate crits. You would do a crit, and then the second time that you spend that advantage, it adds another 10 to the roll. So, were this a non-minion, it would be 1d100 plus 10. So the lowest you can roll now is an 11.
Got it.
And then other things, weapon attachments, skills from your trees and stuff like that can bump that number up. The wife's last character.
And the higher up you go, like the worse the crit is.
Right. Okay. Because like 151 is instant death. But obviously you can't roll a 151 on a D100. But if you have a weapon that has like Vicious 3 and 2 ranks of the, I forget the name of the talent, but it just adds 10 to your crit rolls, you can be rolling, and my wife's character was this way. She would roll a D100 and add 50. And it's like, dang, the lowest you can roll is a 51 on the chart. But yes, sorry for that interruption. Okay. I just wanted to clarify because there was some confusion on that last night.
Yeah, so I just looked up. So that would count as suffering a critical injury. It says minions are killed by critical injuries. If a minion suffers a critical injury, it is immediately incapacitated. If a group of minions suffers a critical injury, it suffers 1 minion's worth of wounds.
Right.
So essentially, yeah.
You would kill multiple minions, though.
Yeah. So as you pew, pew, pew from this rooftop, you see 2 of them go down as another one kind of grabs their shoulder. And we are going to have to see how the crew of the Second Sunrise gets out of an enclosed Imperial compound.
Oh, gosh.
In 2 weeks.
The camera does like a quick montage of like shots, right, before fading to the like to be continued. It shows Ellie and her friend like run out onto the roof of this building. It shows Zarko booking it with like his knee-length leather jacket like trailing behind him as he just hauls across the desert. It shows Kane like pew 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 on the top of this building, and it shows Vosk and his buddy like duck for half a second and then like sit back up and have a drink, and then it fades to black and to be continued.
I want to see Kane putting like 3 more notches on the barrel.
Jeez, that was a heck of a roll.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was amazing. That was what we needed.
I am so proud of you right now.
Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. A lot of role play in that one. I think it set up some really exciting stuff coming up in the next episode. And we're gonna have to find out how the crew of the Second Sunrise is gonna get out of this.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Look, my character is named Oh No for a reason.
Yeah, I hear a 3-way party split. 4-way party split is the best way to
4-way party split. Start that combat.
Yeah.
In closing, we do want to thank Roll20 for sponsoring this show, though. They are the ones that have provided us with 1 year of their Roll20 Pro subscription, which allows us access to the API script that we need to use all the fancy Star Wars dice, because Roll20 is free by default, but unfortunately it does not get you the weird proprietary dice. You do need the Pro subscription to do that, and they were nice enough to sponsor this channel and our show and give us not only a year's worth of Roll20 Pro so that we can play, but also they have included us in their Spotlight program so that other folks can come find us and check us out and see all the shenanigans that we get up to in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
Yep. We're going to go ahead and end the stream here. Thanks, everybody.